for, helped for.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Get ready! Our 7th annual empowerment experience is coming. Join WURD Radio Saturday, December 9th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Enon Tabernacle Baptist Church Family Life Center, 2800 West Cheltenham Avenue. This year, we acknowledge the Kwanzaa principle of cooperative economics through Ujamaa, with a culture-filled holiday marketplace experience featuring artisans and creators of color. You can shop from creations featuring jewelry, clothing, pop-ups, and more. There will be health screenings, job and career resources, and empowering conversations. Interested in vending? Call the station at 215-425-7875 and hit sales for more information. The empowerment experience is free, and keep it locked to WURD Radio or visit wordradio.com for more exciting details. Save the date for Saturday, December 9th. Give the gift of culture this holiday season. The 2023 Empowerment Experience is sponsored by Comcast, Keystone First, Bank of America, Brown's Family ShopRite, Dietz & Watson, Hers, and Pico. We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD Radio, 900 AM and 96.1 FM, WURD, Philadelphia, celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on WURD Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L. O. G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Hello and welcome to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Happy Wednesday to you, and happy hump day, as some like to call it, to you. I hope your week is coming along well thus far on this Wednesday, November 15th. I cannot believe it. Ooh, we are closer and closer to 2024, family. So, to my fellow Scorpios, happy birthday to you, especially if you are celebrating a birthday today. Guess what? Our very own Nick will be celebrating his tomorrow. So, that's right. Show him some love. Show him some love. Please, please. Family, I have some housekeeping to get out of the way. So, there's some things that I want to share with you. And the first of which is that WURD Radio is sharing a harvest for the world. Now through December 31st, visit wordradio.com to find information on upcoming give back events in the city of Philadelphia, or in the Philadelphia area, more specifically. So if your organization is hosting free clothing giveaways, food drives, free workshops, community dinners, and more, please share the details using the form on our website. Visit wordradio.com/the harvest and look for the harvest banner. Family, it is harvest time, and we are sharing information on those giving back to the community. The harvest is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and the United Way. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. The next thing I want to share with you, I'm sure you already know what that is, but I'm going to tell you anyway. It is about membership. I just want to remind everybody that we need the support from our community. Our Forward and Up campaign has an unprecedented goal for WURD Radio to recruit 2,000 members of the Forward movement. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it because it's true. I believe in WURD. And because you are listening, I happen to believe that you do too. So if you are not already a member of the Forward movement, well, now is the time. Go to wordradio.com and click on membership. It's right there at the top of the page. Help us to reach our goal of 2,000 members in our 20th year of Black Talk Media. Family, today we have a ticket giveaway. Yes, we do. The Lantern Theater presents the play Crumbs from the Table of Joy. This Friday, November 17th at 8 p.m. at St. Stephen's Theater, located at 923 Ludlow Street in Center City. Crumbs from the Table of Joy follows the Crump family and their 2 daughters who are on the cusp of adulthood and are chafing at their father's religious strictures. Their big dreams for the future are encouraged by their lively and fearless Aunt Lily. Written by 2-time Pulitzer Prize winner Lynn Nottage, this play gently reveals the funny and touching struggles of a family trying to make a fresh start in a strange world full of temptations and surprises. Family, we are giving away a pair of tickets to the first caller to dial 215-634-8065. But you should know that you cannot win if you've won a prize from us in the past 30 days. Also, proof of vaccination is no longer required and masking is optional, but both are strictly and strongly recommended. I should say strongly, not strictly. That's the Lantern Theater's Crumbs from the Table of Joy on Friday, November 17th at 8 p.m. at St. Stephen's Theater, located at 923 Ludlow Street. So, family, you know what time it is. I call it check-in, roll call. Whichever of the two you want to call it is all right with us. But if you're joining us by way of our socials, let us know by sharing a comment. And I promise you, I'll do my best to read it on the air. You could also give us a call. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. You know we'll take the love any way you care to share it. You know we will. Nick and I are always happy to have you join us. We so appreciate you. We truly do. And last, but most certainly not least, to those of our family members whose spirit is just a little heavy today or whose lights are shining just a little dimly, I just want you to know that you are loved and you are not alone. You hear me? On behalf of your entire tribe and village, you are not alone. I'm sending all this extra love and all the extra hugs I can muster to you today, right now, in this moment. I sure am. All right, family. So some of our family members are checking in. Nasir, hey there, Nasir. Nasir is checking in, and he says, good evening to Nick and the guests, and blessings to everybody. We received that, Nasir, and we send them right back to you. He also shares, happy birthday anniversary, Nick. I love it. I love the love. Sharon Leah is joining us as well. Hey there, beautiful. She is joining us too. Hi there, Sharon. And she's sending love too, as is Cheryl Brown. Hey there, beautiful. She's sending love too, as always. And she's sending peace and blessings. Our brother Gary Bryant is joining us too. Hey there, Gary. Always nice to have you join us as well. Okay, family, let's get started. Let's get started. So, our first guest in this evening, um, my beloved. She's one of my boops. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And I was so excited. I couldn't wait to have her on. I couldn't. I'm trying to contain myself. In any event, her name is Kristal Oliver, otherwise known as Tytewriter. She is a Grammy nominated platinum selling singer songwriter. She's worked with heavens to Murgatroyd. She's worked with such artists as Justin Timberlake, Kanye West, Diddy, Mary J. Blige, Enrique Iglesias. I can't get it out. I'm going to have to calm myself. Ty Dolla $ign, and so many more. And guess what? She's stopping by to talk with us about her journey thus far and to share with us this new project, this new endeavor that I'm also excited for her to talk about. So, family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Kristal Tytewriter Oliver. Hey there, beautiful.
Hi, Carol. How are you? Thank you for having me.
That's so funny. I won't complain. I won't come. You heard me falling all over my words. I'm good. I'm
I'm
good. I'm
great. Thank
good.
you.
Yes, so you may be unaware, but here at Love and Life, we talk about everything. We just talk, and we chill, and and then we talk some more. So I'm happy to be able to share you with our family members. I really am. I
Thank you
really
for
am.
having me. Thank you so much. Hey, family members. Nice to see you.
Look at that. Willie says sending love as well. Hey there, Willie. Sending love right back to you. Raphael, good evening to you. Raphael Suleiman, that is. I love it. I love it. I love it. Family. So I'm going to jump right in because I know this hour goes by so quickly. I'll ask you 2 questions and I'll be saying thank you for coming.
Oh, no more
Right. That's how I know we don't want that so much to share. So first, could you tell our family just a little bit about yourself, from where you come, all that good stuff?
So, as you mentioned, I'm a songwriter slash
Mhm.
artist slash vocal producer slash wearer of many hats, but
Mhm.
I'm
Hmm.
also a master instructor, and I work with many programs. But my main program is the Dash program in Philadelphia, and so I go around the local schools as well as schools outside of the state on the East Coast, teaching music literacy, aka songwriting, as well as sometimes music tech with a wonderful team of guys. Shout out Ivan, shout out Brandon, all y'all. Um, um, and, and I am also now I've just started up a nonprofit called Studios for Students, where we give back to students in the schools who really don't have enough time to apply what we're learning while they're in class. So by
Mhm.
giving them studio bundles, which include things like a microphone, MIDI keyboard, and stuff like that, they can take it home and actually practice what we're teaching them in school. So when they come back, they're just more literate, they retain the information more, their test scores go up, and they're ready for pathways that have been created for them to actually get into the music industry and things that are similar.
I love that. I love it, love it, love it. So Kristal and I, we've worked together with Dash.
Yeah.
But Kristal, when she says she is a master teaching artist, she really is. I kid you not.
Thank you.
I no, seriously, I've learned some things from you. We all have like our own way of doing things, but
Yeah.
but no, you do things effortlessly.
Oh,
It
wow.
just it really did it used to amaze me to watch you work because the kids were really receptive, really,
Thank
really
you.
receptive.
Thank
And
you.
it was just a joy to see. So impressive. So I know
Thank
family.
you.
So we've worked together, as you heard me say, but I've never told her any of this. I've never said any of this to her, but I would watch. I would watch, and it's just
Thank
wonderful.
you.
So I'm, you know what? One thing I've always been curious to know from you. Do you have a favorite genre in which you like working, either writing, singing, or otherwise, or performing?
It's funny. I mean, I'm from Philly, so of course, I mean, I love soul, I love R&B, But to be quite honest, I like a lot of different genres because I grew up in
Mm.
the 80s, so we were listening to everything. My mother would listen to gospel, my sister would listen to hip hop and R&B, my dad was listening to jazz,
Mhm.
and I was listening to pop, like the pop radio and everything else that everyone around me was listening to. So from an early age, I've been influenced by a lot of different music, and I love all types of music. So I wouldn't say there's one genre I love more than
Mhm.
I love house music, I love dance, EDM, everything, country. So anything I can kind of get my hands on because it breaks up the monotony. It gives me a chance to play around and learn from other genres as well. So I love all of it, honestly.
You do, and she writes so well to it all. I'm so
Wow,
serious
thanks.
when I tell you. So, can you talk with us about how long you've been doing this professionally?
So I've been songwriting professionally. Wow. So about
Mhm.
maybe 26 years now I've been songwriting professionally. So I started off in a local girl group, and they're actually the girls that were in the accident with Left Eye when she passed, God rest her soul. So I started
Mm.
off in that girl group. I was asked from a friend of mine well, she wasn't a friend. I actually didn't even know her. I call her a little earth angel because I saw her one time and I never saw her again. But I did a talent show at Girls High. I went to the school there. And she asked me if I wanted to be in a girl group. And that's how I ended up getting into the music industry. So at 17, I joined a girl group, and we started working with a local producer named Michael Boykin. And he really taught me a lot of my foundations about music, about how to structure a song and things like that. And he really encouraged me to write more and more. And after I finished my time with the young ladies in that group, I began working with a lot of local rappers. I would write stuff for like major figures and stuff like that. And I would do
Wow.
hooks and stuff. And I did my own personal projects for a while, but realized I really liked being behind scenes more. And then an opportunity came up for me to get into TV. So I went out in 2003 to Cali and worked on a TV show. But my career really kind of like took off when I came back to Philadelphia, and Dice Raw asked me one day, he
Dice.
contacted me. Yeah, in 2005, I will never forget. So I'm working at, some local business, and he calls me up and he says, "Hey, the Roots need some hooks. Can you come by the studio?" And I go by the studio and I meet my then manager, Donnie Meadows, and he takes me down to a studio called Home Cooking. And at Home Cooking, there
Mhm.
was Carvin and Ivan and Mike and Jay and the Lab Rats and Smurf. And it was just all these great producers down there. And
Mhm.
it really took me under their wing. And within a year of being with them, I got my pub deal with EMI, which is now Sony. And that's when things really took off for my
Wait,
career. And
our
yeah.
family members might not know what a pub deal, what
Oh,
her publishing. Well, like you, I mean,
I know I'm dropping all these terms. My bad.
I'm like, wait, slow down.
let's just say I started working with a music company,
Okay.
and I got my first hit, my first big record, should I say, and it was called
Mhm.
Showstoppers on Danity Kane. And after that, things they just took off, and thank God I've been able to stay in this business for so long, just keep pushing through all of the
Mhm.
trials and tribulations, you know.
But I'm listening to you say, looking like you're like knocking on 28's
Ooh,
door, talking about I've been
I'll
doing this
take it.
26 years. You hear her? Did you hear her?
I'll
Family, did
take
you hear her say that? I heard it. But I think it's
I'll
a
take
beautiful thing. What do they say? Well, they say black don't crack and beige don't fade.
it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Beige don't
That's what they
fade.
say. That's what they say. That's what they say. Beige
I'm
don't
using
fade.
it. I'm using
Family,
it.
listen, I am talking to you. If you have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. In our first hour, we're talking with the one and only Kristal Tytewriter Oliver. Yes, yes, yes. I want to say that Tony Brown is joining us. Hey, Tony. He sent some happy birthday love to Nick. I love all this love. And Malcolm is joining us too. Hey there, Malcolm. So happy to have you join us as well. Cheryl is giving you love, some love, some love. She said, master, teacher, and author. I love it. I love it. Family, what we're going to do right now is take just a short commercial break. But when we come back, I want Kristal to share with you about this most recent endeavor that I'm so excited about. So stay with us, family, because we're coming right back.
Dear WURD members, listeners, and supporters, thank you for helping make our 20th anniversary gala a success. We also want to thank all of our performers, panelists, and Day One Award recipients. A special thank you to the WURD host and staff for your tireless efforts to make this a memorable event. Finally, we want to thank all of our sponsors, including Rivers Casino, Temple University, Independence Blue Cross, the African American Museum, Brown's Family ShopRite, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, Independence Media Foundation, the Museum of the American Revolution, Penn Medicine, Resolve Philly, the Chamber of Commerce of Greater Philadelphia, the William Penn Foundation, and Third Floor Media. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Supporting WURD, Lantern Theater Company presents Crumbs from the Table of Joy by Pulitzer Prize playwright Lynn Nottage. Moving from the South to Brooklyn, the Crump family is making a fresh start in a world full of temptation and surprises. The two brilliant daughters resent their father's religious strictures, while their big dream for the future are encouraged by their fearless, free-thinking Aunt Lily. In performance through December 10th. Details at lanterntheater.org.
King C. Gillette knows you're dedicated to your barbershop routine. But what about after? What's your routine for facial hair to avoid dry skin, itching, and beard rough? Well, the King C. Gillette Beard Oil is a perfect fit for making your beard feel as good as it looks. It softens your facial hair and moisturizes to help prevent itch due to dry skin. Get facial hair that feels as good as it looks. Just trim, wash, and soften with King C. Gillette.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This is your celebration.
Hi, I'm Nicole Hannah-Jones, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary, and thank you for serving your community.
Peace and love, world. This is Love King of Soul and R&B, Raheem Devon, wishing WURD a happy 20th anniversary.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD. We are talking with Kristal Oliver, aka Tytewriter, or as she said to me earlier, Tytewriter, either one, any of the above. But we are talking with her about her journey thus far in the music industry. I do want to share that some more of our family members are checking in. Cheryl is sending you love, Nick, for your birthday. Happy birthday. And Eric is checking in as well. Hey there, Eric. Eric has a question for you, Kristal. He asks, is there a male singer on your bucket list that you would absolutely love to do a duet collaboration with?
Yeah, actually a rapper. I would love to do a duet with Mos Def. I think
oh my gosh.
Yasin Bey. I'm sorry, Yasin Bey. I would love to.
Kristal, I would love for that to happen.
Yeah.
Let me say,
And
I
Tariq Trotter
love him.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tariq.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Eric? Yasin Bey and or Tariq Trotter. It could be the same record. It could be two different records. It could, I would love to hear that. Oh my goodness. And Malcolm jokingly says, yeah, thanks, Carol. We don't know the business like that. He said, we don't know what she's talking about. What she talking about? Pub deal. She's talking about her publishing deal. And then Cheryl said, yes, what? 26 years? What? Get out of here. Get out of here. And Ashley Scott, hey there, Ash. She is checking in, sending some love. Hey, Ash. And Nick, you're getting more love. Malcolm said, happy birthday, Nick. It is tomorrow. I should make that clear. It is tomorrow. But I mean, who cares? We celebrate sometimes the whole month, or definitely the whole week. Definitely the whole week. And if I knew beforehand, I would have started on Monday. But I was sharing with you all before the break that Kristal is involved in this exciting new endeavor. And I'm so happy to have her here with us to share and talk with us about it. First, though, I'd like to play a little clip that she shared with me. And I want to share it with you, if that's all right. Is that all right? Is that all right? Is that all right?
What if I told you we could get a song written in 5-10 minutes?
Bang, boom, pow, my thoughts are running wild.
We want to make an album, right? We want to get some songs written.
I like music, but I'm not a musician.
This is the time where you could come up with an idea that actually changes the world.
These kids, they digging me, I'm digging them, and we about to make some great music.
Most of us just want to leave something that, you know, people can remember us by.
Stand up, scream and shout.
The album's really just changed my whole life. You love it.
Anything is possible when you just put your heart into it.
That's what music does. It brings people together.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, y'all. When I want to cry, So family, I actually watched it. I watched it, and it is amazing. It is amazing. What I am talking about is the HBO documentary titled Stand Up and Shout, Songs from a Philly High School, in which Kristal Tytewriter Oliver plays such an integral part, as you saw in the advertisement. But I was watching it, and I'll tell you this one part I really did. I started crying when you were working with a young lady, and she was going to record her vocals, and she was afraid. And she said, "But I don't sound like them."
Kendall.
She said, "I don't sound like them," and she said their voices are. Basically, she was saying that her voice was different, and you encouraged her. And it spoke to me so deeply. I mean, but I know you. I mean, I know you, and that is you. Everything about you was reflected so clearly in that piece. But here I am talking. Please talk with us about that project.
So it's really interesting because with that project, you know, I'm considered a teaching artist. So World Cafe Live hired some teaching artists. And they hired myself. They hired Bethlehem Roberson, who's another amazing artist in Philadelphia, as well as Andrew Lipke, who's just an amazing musician all around. And so we went in, and we didn't know. We just went in to teach the way we normally do at Hill Friedman Academy. And so normally what we do is we go in, we teach the basics, the foundations of songwriting, a little bit of music tech. But the main focus is for the students to create an album, you know, to kind of give them ownership over the creative process, to learn how to collaborate and to trust themselves. And, you know, one day we were told, you know, there's going to be a crew in the room, an HBO crew is going to be here. They're just going to come film a little bit. And, you know, they may stick around, they may not, but they're just getting a little footage just to see if this is something they may be interested in. So we just did what we normally do. Well, by the end of the school year, they had captured everything you saw in that film. And what was so awesome about it is, you know, they made us feel so comfortable, like they weren't in the room. And we had a lot to do. We would have to mic up the students, you know, there's cameras in their faces. But everybody just kind of leaned into the whole process. And we were able to just capture these students learning themselves, learning how to find the words that exist within them, tap into those emotions, put it down on paper, How do you take it from paper, then turn it into something more, a song? How do you find
Mhm.
melody? How do you then, after when you have never recorded a song in your life, how do you go into a booth and then trust someone like me to just come in and guide you until you can, and then get this great project at the end? And we had no clue. We learned later on that John Legend was going to be executive producing it through Get Lifted Film Co. And you know, it's been just a huge blessing for not just myself but the students. They've been doing, they're on their tour right now. That's what I'll say. They're doing their media tour right now, you know. So there's a lot of exciting things in the future coming for this. So I feel beyond blessed, beyond grateful.
Oh
And
my goodness.
yeah.
You see, I haven't stopped smiling. My cheeks,
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, first of all, because I can identify and relate, this is this is one of the things we love to do. We love to work with the babies. We love to help them create,
Yes.
and we love to just make the projects come to fruition. And I mean, I felt like I was there with you all when I was watching it. I really did, because of the way it was filmed, and because you could just really see how comfortable you all were. And knowing that creativity is so fluid, but at the same time, we like to be in our little spaces when we create. It's not that easy to just let go when someone else is watching you, especially someone with whom you were unfamiliar. So it really, kudos to you and to the other master teaching artists, for working with the students, for being able to get them to a level where they were just so comfortable, where they just, they just let it all. The songs are incredible. They were incredible. The kids were incredible.
I think and before we even get there, before we get there, their room teacher, their main teacher, who's also the director of the program, Mr. Thurman, he fosters an environment where they can just kind of come in, tinker around, listen to music, and have fun. So it's already kind of like a safe space for them already. But when we get in there, what's really interesting is we're all required to be vulnerable. We all have to open up. I had to face a lot of fears when, I was in front of the class, because we do something a little different there. We do jam sessions. And it's sometimes I sing in front of people, but I don't, I write the music, I'm behind the scenes, I put it out, but a lot of times I'm not performing. And I had to perform for them constantly, so it allowed me to get out of my comfort zone. And when we would do things, we would do something called free writes, which would help us to warm up. And we would talk about some of the things that were going on. They could free write about anything. If they wanted to free write about breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it was okay. A lot of us would open up and tap into some of the deep things that were going on inside of us. And during those moments, that is when the guard started to drop. It was like, wow, they just shared this. They felt comfortable enough. They would clap for each other and encourage each other. And then there's this shift that happens when we break them into groups. And when they get into groups and they're able to kind of like be in their own little ecosystem and trust each other and lean on each other, then that's when the magic starts happening, because it's like, I'm not in the front of the room while we're having a jam. It's like we're over at our desk, we're having some fun, and I'm just amongst my peers having fun. And that's when they really start digging into the creative process writing. So it's a lot of fun to watch.
I'm telling you, it was, first of all, family was in the middle of the night. I had no business being up. And I was trying, well, I called myself trying to go to sleep. I said, let me turn the TV on and see, let me just see what was on. And then I said, oh, it's coming on. Well, needless to say, I did not go to sleep. I watched it in its entirety, because not only did I want to support you, but at the same time, when I saw the babies and I saw how things were coming together and how they were supporting, because she's right, they are so supportive of one another. It was a wonderful thing to watch. And so, okay, so family, you've heard me talk about working with the babies. I typically stay with the little ones. I stop at middle school. I used to work with the middle schoolers as well, but as of late, I've just been working with the lower school babies. And Kristal does so well with the middle schoolers, the high schoolers. I said, OMG. It was just a wonderful thing, really, really, to watch and to just see you guide them. It was a beautiful thing to watch. So let me go to our family members are checking in. Our family members are saying some things. Cheryl says, "I love it." Yes, Cheryl. Yeah, I'm telling you, you all have to watch this special. It's just wonderful. And Eric says, "What about doing a song with Peebo Bryson or Will Downing?" Eric
take
is he's pushing for this duet. I know that's right. And Miss Julie, hi, Miss Julie. Miss Julie is joining us, my love bug. She shares greetings. The preview of Stand Up and Shout sounded so good. Searched for the official trailer preview found on YouTube. Full documentary, Stand Up and Shout, HBO. Yes. Miss
Yes.
Julie, let me tell you something. I keep telling Miss Julie, I'm going to put her in my pocket. Miss Julie is
Yes.
she's a master detective. Yes, she is.
Thanks, Miss Julie. Thank you.
Yes. It but it just really made me feel so good seeing our babies at that age too, because
Yeah.
being teenagers, it can be a little difficult to communicate with them or to even get them to a place where they're working together. And
Yeah.
I said, I don't know where these kids, they worked so well together. They were so supportive of one another.
Yeah.
It's so impressive. It's
Yeah.
so impressive.
I find myself in a unique position to teach what I teach, So, imagine if you're coming from science or math or something like that, we get to have fun. I'm not going to lie. We get to have fun, but along with getting to have fun, where they don't realize the tools that they're learning, the organizational tools they're learning, the collaborative tools they're learning. And to make the environment more warm, more inviting, more hospitable, more comfortable, I try my best just to meet them where they are and to respect them. I think it's unfortunate when I see educators who kind of place themselves so high above the students that it's almost like they feel like they can't learn from the students as well. And I try to come in with an attitude of I can learn from them as much as they can learn from me. So I mean, from making sure I understand what they're listening to so that I can communicate to them effectively, to how I dress, when I come into I dress completely, well, I dress that way on a normal basis, honestly. But, I try not to be too intimidating. I try not to feel like I'm the master. Follow me. There's only one way to do this. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, a lot of ways to cook a turkey, So I believe that meeting them where they are, respecting them, the environment, the way it's set up, how we first have to check in the back of the classroom and just kind of all sit around in this group and just talk about what we're going through. I think that is what helps, asking them, what are you all listening to? Let's check it out. When you can meet students where they are and give them a voice and not shut it out, I think that alone will just create a trust environment, a safe space. And next thing you know, the next day they come in, they're talking, hey, Miss Kristal, guess what happened? Hey, Miss Kristal, this, that. So, and those are the moments I truly live for. And I also live for when you brought up Kendall, I live for those moments where the students figure out, wow, I can't do this. I always say I'm a little selfish in what I do because I do this because I get so much joy out of it. It feeds me, it really
feels so good.
And it may sound corny, it may sound cliche, but it's the honest to God truth. I've been doing this so long, and it's not easy, guys and ladies and gentlemen. It is not easy to teach high schoolers, because like Miss Carol said, they're in their own world. Sometimes they're on their phones. It's hard to get their attention. They're talking to their friends. They've got a lot of energy, they're experiencing a lot of changes, So, I'm just so grateful that they trust me. They trust the rest of the teaching artists. They trust their teacher. They trusted the HBO staff. Shout out to Amy Schatz, the director. She would come in and do the students need anything? The staff would just meet them and just would talk to them. And I honestly, I feel so blessed. We were blessed with a dream team working with this, so, and Amy works with students a lot. That's all she does is work with children. So, she kind of understood the assignment, as they say.
Right. Oh my goodness. And it showed. It really did show. I mean, I've seen it. Well, I've seen it twice now, and I will probably watch it again.
Yes,
I will more
Carol.
than
Yes.
likely watch it again. Because, well, you know how that is when you watch and you see something for the first time you're watching it, from a specific perspective, and then you kind of loosen up, and then you actually see more when you watch
Yeah.
something again. So, family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life. We're talking with Kristal Oliver, Tytewriter, that is. We are going to take just a short break, but family, know that the phone lines are still open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. I've not been told yet that we have a ticket winner, so know that you can still win those tickets to see the play that's taking place on Friday, the 17th. Call us 215-634-8065. But whatever you do, stay with us because we're coming right back.
Get ready. Our 7th annual empowerment experience is coming. Join WURD Radio Saturday, December 9th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Enon Tabernacle Baptist Church Family Life Center, 2800 West Cheltenham Avenue. This year, we acknowledge the Kwanzaa principle of cooperative economics through Ujama with a culture-filled holiday marketplace experience featuring artisans and creators of color. You can shop from creations featuring jewelry, clothing, pop-ups, and more. There will be health screenings, job and career resources, and empowering conversations. Interested in vending? Call the station at 215-425-7875 and hit sales for more information. The empowerment experience is free, and keep it locked to WURD Radio or visit wordradio.com for more exciting details. Save the date for Saturday, December 9th. Give the gift of culture this holiday season. The 2023 Empowerment Experience is sponsored by Comcast, Keystone First, Bank of America, Brown's Family ShopRite, Dietz & Watson, Hers, and Pico.
Universal Circus now playing at Fairmont Park. And the action is everywhere. In the air. With soaring motorcycles, wire walkers, and the Chinese trapeze. 18 athletes flying through the air. In the ring. With Caribbean fire. Gravity-defying strongmen. And the kids dance contest. And in the crowd. Where you get to dance, sing, and raise the roof. Universal Circus now playing at Fairmont Park. Go to universalcircus.com.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
WURD Radio is sharing a harvest for the world. Now through December 31st, visit wordradio.com to find information on upcoming Give Back events in the Philadelphia area. If your organization is hosting free clothing giveaways, food drives, free workshops, community dinners, and more, please share the details using the form on our website. Visit wordradio.com and look for the Harvest banner. It's harvest time, and we're sharing information on those giving back to the community. The Harvest is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and the United Way. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD with yours truly, Carol Riddick. We are talking with Kristal Oliver, aka Tytewriter. I like saying that. You can tell, right? And so, Kristal, quick question for you as I'm looking at the time, and I know, like I told you, that hour goes by so quickly. So we only have you for a few more minutes, but I'd like to know, because you wear so many hats, you are a vocalist, you're a songwriter, you're an artist, you're a master teaching artist, now a business owner. Like, are there any one of your hats that you you gravitate to more than the others, or that you like really enjoy more than the others, or?
I feel I need them all
Mhm.
to kind of balance myself out because I'm someone who can get bored easily. If you can't tell, by my,
Mhm. I
I feel giving back is extremely important, and taking time away from my own thoughts and all of the things that are consuming me that I need to do and need to focus
Mhm.
on, and being able to pour that into students, that gets me out of my head for a moment and just in my joy, you know. But then
Yeah.
when I can work with artists and help develop artists and write songs, you know, it helps me express my creativity. It helps me help artists in other ways, you know. And then when I can be an artist for myself, it helps me express all of these other things that I've been holding on to. So for me, it's this awesome balancing act that I feel really helps me to stay in tune, you know, helps me to keep my
Mhm.
compass straight because I think that if I didn't do all of these different things, I could forget, you know, put it like this. Here we go, right? I'm constantly hearing God telling me to walk in my purpose, right? And
Mhm.
my purpose, I'm always hearing do this and do this. And when I'm hearing God tell me to do these things, I write it down, you know, and then I'm like,
Okay.
well, how can I make sure I give space to these things, these gifts that God has given me? How can I make sure I'm using these gifts properly and existing in all of these different spaces? Because by existing in all of these different spaces, it helps. They all feed each other. Every single
Mhm.
area that
Mhm.
I'm in, you know, and so yeah, no, there's not necessarily one that I gravitate more to than the other. And if I did, it would honestly burn me out. You know, when I'm constantly writing for other artists, traveling and just doing that, you know, it gets to a point where I'm like, I need a break to pour back into
Mhm.
my own cup, refill and get more inspiration. And then when I go and work with students, you know, if I'm doing that, it takes a lot, you know, to do that.
Mhm.
And so for me, I feel like it's the perfect balance. And yeah, I wouldn't choose one over the other.
I love that, and I can relate as well. I can
Yeah.
identify with that. But as a creative, I think we need different outlets. I think we do.
Yeah.
I don't think just
Mhm.
one thing will suffice because we have so much because
No.
creativity is so fluid. We just, you know, we need those different outlets. So what's next for you?
So, well, currently, of course, we're doing all of the media runs for the HBO documentary Stand Up and Shout. I have more music coming out as an artist.
Yes.
I'm always teaching, but my next passion project is
Mhm.
something called Studios for Students. Being in these schools, and especially during the pandemic, you know, imagine how hard it is to create an album when you're not physically with a student, you know.
Mhm.
So you know, when we went through the pandemic, we were like, well, how do we go about this? And their teacher was like, well, I'm just gonna, you know, pack up a few of these students' laptops and take some stuff over to the students' houses. And
Mm.
when we did it, it made me realize, you know, we're missing an opportunity here to normally in our normal school year, we're missing an opportunity to give students tools that can really help them take what they're doing a lot further. And a lot of
Mhm.
times when we're in class teaching, the students are learning, you know, and they're listening. They have about 50 minutes in class and they don't get a chance to apply what we're learning. So Studios for Students, I created that to make these studio bundles, and what's in the bundles are, you know, they get a little MIDI keyboard, a microphone, an interface which they can record through, and a program that they can record themselves in or make beats in if they want to
Mhm.
go into that. But the goal is to get them applying what they're learning in school. So right now I'm working on
Wow.
fundraising for that nonprofit. And if anybody would like
That's
to
right.
donate,
Mm.
the website is Studios for Students, just spelled out .org. You can also
.org.
check us out on socials at studios dot for FOR dot students. And you know, hopefully, you know, by spring summer we'll be able to start giving out some of these bundles. Students can apply on the website for a bundle if
Oh,
you have a student
wow.
that is interested. Yeah, so they just have to write a 50 to 100 word essay, as well as get either a teacher, principal, or something like that to give a recommendation to us. But that's my passion. That's my baby right now because I remember when I was coming out up and I didn't have equipment. I would have to rely on everyone
Mhm.
else. And when I started getting my own equipment and could really tinker around, that's when I found my genius, my creative genius. I was, oh, I'm good at this. I can do this. And that's where we find our next women producers and women, you know, give them
That's so
the space to
true.
do it, give them the tools. Yeah. So,
But also it's therapeutic for them too.
yes,
It's
yes.
therapeutic. I know it's therapy for me when I'm creating. It's
Mhm.
therapeutic, you know, and for the babies with whom I work, they say, you know, they get to release frustration. It's therapeutic to create and to write and to be able to just flow freely. Create. Kristal, listen, thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you,
you for
thank you,
having
thank
me.
you. You kidding? Like, Kristal, you have to come on. You have to come on and talk with us. So I'm
This was
so glad you were
awesome.
able to do so. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Seriously, I really wanted to be able to share you with our family members. And I'm so glad that you were able to come by and you know, share some time and energy and your spirit and your attention with us, because it truly and greatly is appreciated. And I want our family members to know one more time, Studios for Students. The website is studiosforstudents.org. Is that correct?
Yes.
And on the socials, it's studios.for.students. It's
Yes,
at,
ma'am.
right? At okay. Listen, I want to
Yeah.
make sure I get it right. I want to make sure I get it right. So we're looking.
If they want to follow me too, at The World is Tight, TYTE. Check me out.
There you see. I'm gonna put that in there too. That's right. That's right. That's important. And you should, family. I tell you, you should. I'm just like grateful, really, that
Thank you.
that you're out here with our babies. I'm grateful to know you, you know, and I'm grateful for the work that you're doing, because I've been there with you. I've watched you. We don't get to work together.
As
We
much,
haven't been, you know, we're at different schools, and you know, our schedules are different, and everything is different now, but we were. And like I said, it was just a joy to watch you work. It truly, truly was. It truly is. And now, family, you too can watch her work, because I was sharing with you about the special, the special right here, the HBO special, Stand Up and Shout, songs from a Philly high school, which you can check out on HBO. Oh my goodness, from executive producer John Legend. Isn't that awesome? That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. That is awesome. 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 So, family, thank you for showing love to our beloved Kristal Oliver. Kristal, thank you for joining us. Family, listen, for those of you who have just joined us, I want to let you know that you are checking out Love and Life right here on WURD. To that point, Frey just joined us. Hi there, beautiful. And she's sending some love to everybody. Hi there. Hi there. We're talking with Kristal Frey. I don't know, you may have missed the conversation, but she was sharing with us about her journey in the music industry. Eric shares that you are amazing. Wow. Just keep on keeping on, Kristal. I know, isn't she? She is. She's phenomenal. She really is. I mean, like I was sharing with you all earlier, just letting you know that she's worked with so many artists. But I so love your spirit. I love that you come right back to our babies. You come right to our babies, and now you've started a whole company to cater to, you know, helping them. So that's Kristal. That's Kristal. That's who she is.
Thank you, Carol. You are a powerhouse. I am eternally grateful to you for having me on this show and sharing what I'm doing with everyone.
Will you come back and visit with us sometime?
You daggone right.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Darn
and you got to
Skippy,
come see
darn
Chloe. You got to
Yes.
you got to come see Chloe. You got to come see your girl Chloe. All right, family. All right, we're going to take just a short commercial break. But know that the phone lines are still open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. Stay with us, because we have another phenomenal visitor in our second hour. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Thank you once again, Kristal, and I love you, girl. See you soon.
Love you as well.
Family, stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on Reality Check.
And when you think about it, Karen, we have tethered ourselves to these electronic devices. Now, you and I both grew up in a time where we didn't have a phone, we didn't have a computer. So we were kind of the secondary folks who became tethered, whereas we have our kids, our grandkids that have never known anything but being attached to an electronic device. And we're seeing how that's impacting their mental health and how that is impacting their ability to maneuver the world and to interact with other people. I know when I come out of my house, if I don't have my phone, I'm panicked because I feel like I can't do this. I can't pay for that. I got payment apps on my phone. I don't know how I'm going to find this. How am I going to call that? What happens if, I lose it and I got to get some? I mean, it's so many things. But when you really think about being tethered to technology, how do we work with that and still be able to lead less anxious lives?
And that's your hottest 60 seconds this week from Reality Check on WURD Progressive Black Talk Media.
Tune into Word Radio this Thursday at 10 a.m. for City Council Live, hosted by Ernest Owens. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local city council members.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Stay politically minded and informed with the Black Women's Leadership Council, Fridays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on WURD, 900 a.m. and 96.1 FM. Progressive Black Talk Media. Streaming online at wordradio.com, on social, and on the Word Radio app.
Finish your high school diploma for you and your family. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Lift up your voice, let it be heard. There is power in your word.
Reggie Bryant, a Central High School grad with a bachelor's in education and a master's in fine arts, both from Temple University, is also a broadcasting legend. In 1975, he became one of the founding members of the National Association of Black Journalists. He was a talk show host on WHAT 1340 AM, WRTI 90.1 FM, and he was the host of In the Pursuit of Truth on WURD Radio from 2006 to 2010. In addition to his work as a journalist, he served as an associate professor of art at the Philadelphia College of Art, public relations official for AFSCME District Council 33, and a film documentarian. No wonder he was a beloved member of the WURD family.
Welcome to the Truth Position System, TPS.
If there was one child, for example, in a burning building at the window, yelling for help, of course, there'd be any number of people who would find a way to get to that child. But I think that if every window in the building had a child in it with the smoke pouring out, that there'd be people who would be perplexed on what to do, and they would go someplace else to try to find help. If you love them, if you really love them, you do the things you have to do. We have this problem. And our children not only are at risk educationally, scholastically, ethically, and morally, they literally are at risk.
This transmission will be repeated for those who have lost their way.
It is an honor to salute WURD radio legend Reggie Bryant. This WURD 20th anniversary vignette was brought to you by Mainline Health, the Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, and United Healthcare. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. I have some things that I just want to remind you of. The first of which is about the harvest. Word Radio is sharing a harvest for the world. Now through December 31st, visit wordradio.com to find information on upcoming give back events in the Philadelphia area. If your organization is hosting free clothing giveaways, food drives, free workshops, community dinners, and more, please share the details using the form on our website. Visit wordradio.com/the harvest and look for the harvest banner. It is harvest time, family, and we're sharing information on those giving back to the community. The harvest is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and the United Way. We are Word, Progressive Black Talk Media. Family, I want to remind you, too, that we have our ticket giveaway that I was telling you about earlier. But for those of you who have just joined us, I'm going to repeat it so that you are aware. The Lantern Theater presents the play Crumbs from the Table of Joy this Friday, November 17th at 8 p.m. at St. Stephen's Theater, located at 923 Ludlow Street, right there in Center City. Crumbs from the Table of Joy follows the Crump family and their two daughters who are on the cusp of adulthood and are chafing at their father's religious strictures. Their big dreams for the future are encouraged by their lively and fearless Aunt Lily. Written by two-time Pulitzer Prize winner Lynn Nottage, this play gently reveals the funny and touching struggles of a family trying to make a fresh start in a strange world full of temptations and surprises. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Family, we're giving away a pair of tickets to the first caller to dial 215-634-8065. But keep in mind, you cannot win if you've won a prize from us in the past 30 days. Proof of vaccination is no longer required, and masking is optional, but both are strongly recommended. That's the Lantern Theater's Crumbs from the Table of Joy on Friday, this Friday, November 17th at 8 p.m. at St. Stephen's Theater, located at 923 Ludlow Street. All right, family, so here we are in our second hour, and I was sharing with you that we have another exciting and amazing guest. Well, the guest in this hour is no stranger to the show. No, she isn't. And as a matter of fact, when she visited with us the last time, I said, please come back with us sooner than opposed to later. And she obliged. She agreed, family. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Her name is Jude Husein. And she was born in Jerusalem and is a lifelong resident of North Philadelphia. Yes, she is. She passionately advocates for all communities, specifically underserved communities, immigrants, and Black and Brown populations. With extensive experience in strategy development for nonprofit, political, and youth-serving organizations, she currently serves as the Director of State Advocacy for the Pennsylvania State Senate as the only Arab staffer in the General Assembly. And she has come back tonight to share and to talk with us about some things, all right? Because life is happening. So, family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Jude Husein. Hey there, beautiful, and welcome back.
Hi, Carol. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
I'm just happy to have you back. You see me cheesing. I've got my girls tonight. Kristal was in our first hour and we had a great conversation. And I was looking forward to talking with you. And when she texted me, family, she texted me today and she said, okay, so we're still on for tonight. I said, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
This is the highlight of my day.
Me too. Good. So, family, if you will recall, when Jude visited with us the last time, she saved my life that day. Yes, she did, because I called her. I said, Jude, please, can you come and talk with us? And again, she obliged. But today she said, Carol, I have something on my heart. And she said, I want to talk about the genocide in the Middle East and how it's impacting communities here in Philadelphia. And that spoke to me. When you said that, when you sent that to me, there was nothing else. It was like, well, that's what we're going to talk about. So first of all, thank you again for coming to talk with us and for sharing with us. And thank you in advance for your transparency and your sensitivity. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me. And thank you for being so willing to just have an honest conversation with me. And as I shared with you and your viewers the last time, you guys all know that I'm Palestinian American and I was born overseas and I was raised here in North Philly. And as the only Arab staffer here in the state Senate and the founder of the Palestine Philadelphia Solidarity Day, it was really important to share what has been going on back home. And so my grandmother's 109 years old and she's over there. And so what we see here is, the ethnic cleansing of one kind of population we see here in Gaza. And it's really insane how we're able to watch a ethnic cleansing, a genocide, a murdering of one kind of population right on your Instagram live. And there's just so much footage that, there's so much to wrap your brain around. But and so what we see here is that hundreds of thousands of people across the nation, but even here recently, we saw a demonstration, a peaceful demonstration, standing in solidarity with the Palestinian people. About 25,000 people came and were marching the streets of Philly, and there was days of actions. And so we're seeing people really mobilizing around this. And because they're just seeing such graphic, such vulgar, such heinous images and footage that you can't even make it up even if you wanted to. And so you don't have to be one kind of person to really feel for human, or to feel for any kind of human being when you see a certain type of person being targeted for where they live or how they worship. And so it's unfortunate that we're able to mobilize in such mass numbers in solidarity, but still fortunate at the same time. And so it's really important to understand where community is coming from. And so specifically in Philadelphia, there's such a unity that's happening over the Palestinian ethnic cleansing that's happening overseas. But particularly, it's very interesting to see that it's not just a Palestinian issue, right? So it's not just a one kind of community issue or a one type of being issue. This is an issue that impacts every single human being on the planet because, if it's not them, if it's them today, who is it tomorrow? To say that we're able to target a certain kind of person. And in this case, it's the Palestinian community. And here recently, for the Palestinian Solidarity Day, we see that the city may not, as it looks like as it stands, not renew their partnership to recognize the Palestinian community that dates back to the city of Philadelphia since the 1800s because it might be too controversial to take a stance. And so really unfortunate things unfolding here in the city of Philadelphia. But although the public opinion is stand with the Palestinian community, but more so stand with human beings and stand with your neighbors that have resided in the city of Philadelphia to this day.
Oh my gosh. First of all, thank you for sharing that. But that was something of which I was unaware. Well, a lot of what you said was information of which I was completely unaware. And so for me, I don't even know where to look to find information. And what I am seeing, like you said, are horrific images. What I am, and that's because it's being shared on socials. I'm getting information and it's filtered, and you know how that goes. You don't really get the full picture, or you don't really get the full understanding of everything that is taking place when you're getting filtered information. But I know there's a lot of hurt. I know there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of killing, and it's just. I just don't know how to even process that because it's on such a large scale. I don't know how to process what I have seen because it's on such a large scale.
I think to your point, Carol, right? Where do you go to find your information, right? We have it on social media. There's journalists on the ground covering this from a variety of different networks, but also looking at the United Nations. Majority of the global population is saying stop the killing, stop the genocide, stop the ethnic cleansing. And so also looking at your neighbors, right? There's a feeling of censorship, right? That there's silent supporters or silent allies or people that want to educate their neighbors, but they're afraid that they'll be targeted for saying, hey, let's just stop the killing and we're one of the same. And so that censorship is also making it very hard, which is really difficult to wrap the brain around, that we live in the United States of America. We live in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. And we are scared that maybe, our jobs may not like us, or our neighbors may want to target us because we're saying, every single person on this planet, including here in the city of Philadelphia, should have the same equal human rights, including what comes out of their mouth, right? It is just wild to think that we're being censored over one topic, right? This topic is a heavy topic. It's the means of genocide and ethnic cleansing, but we're being censored for this topic, but yet we have, the Klan marching our state schools. And so and we have protesters marching our state schools, calling our young people all types of words, and they're protected by the First Amendment, right? And so we look at what is trying to be censored versus what is protected by the First Amendment and who it's given to, and is it truly equal? If this person decides to go to our state schools and incite hateful speech, but if someone says, hey, what's happening to Palestinians is not okay. What's happening to our Arab community here in the city of Philadelphia, not just Palestinians, our Arab community, our immigrant community, because they may look like something, and they're being targeted because of the narrative that, you're dehumanizing one kind of person. And so it's unfortunate.
Forgive me because I neglected to even ask you, because you shared you still do have family members who are right there. Is your family okay?
My family is holding on. And so I have my grandmother who, bless her soul, is the most amazing human being. She's about 109 years old, but I have my aunts over there and my uncles and a boatload of cousins, and everything is on strict lockdown. And I was speaking to my mother earlier on, and she was like, hey, did you call your aunt? And I was like, no, not today. And she was like, food is just really tight right now over there. And so to think that, the roads are closed. There's nobody is in and out of different towns. On a normal day, there's checkpoints, like I mentioned, but nothing is coming in or out. So it's very hard to get goods and means of that nature.
You shared with us, like you just said, when you visited with us before, about the checkpoints. And you just said on a normal day.
So the checkpoints, there's about, there's Gaza, right? And then there's the West Bank, which is still an occupied territory. And so what that means is that although it's Palestinian territory, it's still occupied territory, and it's still controlled by Israel and Israeli forces. And they have 500 checkpoints that monitor across the West Bank. And checkpoints means that there's a base with a tank and with, they stop cars, they can shut down the road, they stop every car. There's license plates that are blue and green that identify who's Palestinian and who's Israeli. And so Israelis go on one road and Palestinians go on one road. So this is segregation, right? And so there has been an incident where, unfortunately, this is super heartbreaking. An Israeli settler was walking on the wrong road, and the Israeli forces shot him because he accidentally walked on the wrong road. And this was very recent. And so checkpoints are every few miles between town and town. And so if they decide that during the day they want to, we'll make an example of Philadelphia. If I take the Girard train station. And so from Girard over to Spring Garden, if I want to walk up to Spring Garden, which is a few blocks, there's a checkpoint in between Girard and Spring Garden. So they can close down that checkpoint that's only 2 miles out, and I would have to reroute my day for 50 miles around instead of taking my regular 5.5 mile, 6 mile hike. And so that means I could miss dinner with my family. I could miss my niece's graduation. I could maybe not even make it home that night, right? Because they may have detained me at that checkpoint for 10 hours versus even closing it. And so that happens.
What are you, what, I'm so sorry. At a checkpoint for
10 hours.
Why, what in those 10 hours, what is happening? I'm sorry, family, I'm gathering myself. But in that amount of time, what is happening?
They take all of your belongings. They tell you that they have to look into where you are going. If you look a little suspicious, maybe just cause. I mean, they have the authority to. They are the occupying authority. And so it's either that or worse things can happen. You can be in jail, which happens a lot at the checkpoint. There's a lot of Palestinians that are in Israeli jails for time at a time. And so it's just mood. It really is. There really isn't a justification for it. I wish I could tell you. And so that's what happens at the checkpoints. And even with people with American US passports, right? I carry a US passport. And when I land, I'm detained for about like 8 hours, like being questioned and interrogated. And I don't hold a Palestinian passport. Although I was born there, I do not hold one. Both of my parents were US citizens. And so I then became naturalized. And so, yeah, they interrogate me about like 5-6 people and then off I go.
And this is normal.
Yes, it's an intimidation tactic, right? Like these are intimidation tactics. And we see here, we can even relate this to what we see in law enforcement here in this country, right?
Sure.
But translating this to an occupying force, that's not a democracy.
So, oh my goodness, Jude. Family, if you have just joined us, welcome.
I'm laying it on.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
laying it on, girl.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah, but that's what we're here. Listen, because like I said, we don't know. We don't know. So thank you for sharing that and actually breaking it down even more for me, because I was stuck with that when you said it the last time. I just could not understand. Okay, why and what is happening and what is taking place? But I have so many questions. And family, I know you have questions too. So we welcome you to the conversation. Feel free. You can feel free to call us, and you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can even call toll free 1-866-361-0900. And we welcome your comments via socials as well. But I'm like still processing everything you said. And again, like I said, I have so many questions. Joey Dixon is joining us. Hi there, Joey. He's sending love to each and every one of us. Malcolm shares that certain group controls the media and the whole narrative. And Wayne is checking in. Hi, Wayne Green, that is. And Eric shares, good evening, Jude. Welcome back. How do you find the time to address so many worthy causes throughout the city, the tri-state, and abroad? You wear so many hats.
I just feel very passionate. I think anything that impacts one kind of community impacts all. And so when there's a will, there's a way. And when community calls, I pick up.
I love it. See why I love her. And Heather is joining us. Heather shares, this is really some good insight into what is really happening over there. Hi there, Heather. Heather Wilson joining us. Thank you so much. Family, what we're going to do right now, we're going to take just a short commercial break. But when we come back, like I said, I have more questions for Jude. I'm so grateful that she came back to share with us and to educate us some more. I know I need it. I know I definitely need it. But like I said, if you too have questions, feel free to share them via our socials. You can even give us a call But whatever you do, though, stay with us because we're coming right back.
And now,
in the midst of challenging times, our Black spaces, our voices, and our stories are under attack. Our goal? To reach 2,000 members by the end of the year. We need your support now more than ever. WURD Radio has been your trusted source for Black talk media for 20 years, and we want to continue making history for another 20. This is urgent, and the time to act is now. Help us move forward and up to reach our goal. Visit wordradio.com and join the movement. Let's stand together. Let's make a difference. Go to wordradio.com and become a member today.
WURD Radio Digital Tip of the Month is brought to you by Comcast.
With the cost of today's devices going up every year, you might want to think about buying a refurbished gadget for your next upgrade. Here are some things to think about before you buy. There is a difference between refurbished and open box. An open box gadget is usually still new, while refurbished devices have been repaired or restored in some way. Make sure you buy devices that were refurbished by the original manufacturer or have been factory certified. It might be a good idea to get a warranty in this case, otherwise you may fall victim to an as-is product that doesn't work. And finally, don't buy any refurbished electronics that don't come with some sort of return policy. You don't want to get stuck with a final sale that ends up dying after a week. Buying used can be a great way to save money while still getting a like-new device. Just make sure you do your homework first. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
Words of empowerment.
The one and only Saj Purple Blackwell, aka Purple Queen. My advice for all people, especially young people, is agape. Love. To love humankind, to love God, to love through God. And if you love, that love will spread. And then people will start reciprocating that love. And then they'll start giving love. And that wave of love will transform the world. Agape.
This is Words of Joy and Empowerment on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Audio provided by Love Now Media. These Words of Joy and Empowerment are brought to you by Keystone First and United Healthcare.
When I found out I had postpartum depression, I realized caring for my son starts with caring for me.
Mental health care is working for Simone. See what it can do for you at mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD. We are talking with our family member, Jude Husein. And like I said earlier, she's filling us in, educating us, and sharing as well. Malcolm shares, that sounds as bad as the Jim Crow here in America. Wow. Wow. And Eric shares, well said, Jude. Where there's a will, there is a way, period. I'm going to take a moment to go to our phone lines. One of our family members is calling in. Hi there. Thank you so much for calling. Welcome to the conversation.
Greetings, comrades, sisters, and brothers. And ma'am, you all are sounding on time. Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But, you know, this is getting to be a wild situation. And we really need to get our heads straight. And everybody here on this microphone that you can hear, people like Ann and a couple others out there, there's a need to call for a negotiated ceasefire, not only in the Ukraine, which is necessary, but also in this Gaza situation, in which there is a genocide going on, by the way, folks. And you can call it whatever you want. This isn't a terrorism. This is a genocide. It's a big difference. And by international law, apparently, if you're being occupied, which my understanding is for 70 years, Palestinian population has been occupied, or is it 72 or 4 or something in that line?
75.
Hey, got a birthday coming up soon. Yeah, and those numbers are real good. So the key problem is that since I've been alive, personnel that I've been hearing from inside of Palestine, over in Gaza, it's been horrible. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I haven't been there. I've been through Europe. I was all the way through Turkey, going into that area, and had to turn around and come back out numerous times. But I tell you, the stuff that I have read about, I've got videos on this stuff. I haven't been there to video myself, but we need a negotiated settlement as soon as we can get it, and a ceasefire as total as we can do it, because it's only that way that we can pull these occupiers to a halt, one, and at the other side of it, it's the only way that we're going to end up with a two-state solution if the supposed powers in the West here agree on it. And the biggest problem is whether or not the United States will agree on it at this point, because my understanding is something like 80% of the population in the United States or more are against this occupation. And I'm with the National Writers Union and a couple parties out here. We with the National Writers Union, I voted along with about, I think it was 17 other people, African Americans, representing unions in Philadelphia, to have an immediate ceasefire in both wards, period. One guy abstained. The rest of the men and the women there, they voted for the immediate ceasefire. Nobody even had to discuss it. It's that way now. People understand. And what's happening to the Palestinian people has to be pulled to a halt. Hospitals are targets. It's against international law, even if you got a military situation in it. You got schools that are targets. That's against international law. You go in there with a military force and start killing people. Let's just put it this way. This is not Vietnam. And if this spills over, and this is a real thing, I've got about 4 generals, colonels, retired United States military, who are saying that the United States is presently facing not a one front war in the Ukraine. This thing has spilled over into, believe it or not, Egypt. This thing has spilled over into Gaza, and the Israelis are making their move. And quietly as it's kept. I'm on the Africa subcommittee for CPUSA, by the way. We've been studying this thing, and this is not pretty. And if this spills out of what's called the occupier state from our side, then I think that we're going to have ourselves a major 5-front war. And that's what these people were, retired colonels, retired generals from the United States military are saying. And it is not winnable by our side.
Yeah.
Period.
I think you bring up a really great point about the scale of the genocide that's occurring, right? So Israel has dropped over 25,000 tons of nuclear bombs. And so this is the equivalent of during World War II, which yielded 15,000 tons of high explosives. And so we're on the same playing scale already, right? And so this is within a 3-mile radius. Right, like we're talking about really around the same area, and so the scale of destruction, bombing one of the oldest churches in the world, right? This is not a religion issue. It is not, because no one is off limits. And so you have, 5 ministers coming out of the far right extremist fascist government. Stating that this is a Nakba from 1948, 1967, and Nakba is an Arabic term that Palestinians refer to the times where they were expelled out of Palestine. So there are Palestinians that have been expelled during these periods throughout history and they are unable to come back. And so there's a symbol where older women carry a key on their neck, they're wrapped around a chain, and that key is a symbol of resistance because that key is the key to their home that they left, thinking that they were going to return to. And so when you see a key in terms of Palestinian history, that's what that refers to. And so Nakba is the catastrophe of Palestinians being expelled during those periods of time. So yes, I agree with what you're saying. And we do want to call for an immediate ceasefire. So please call your reps and demand that.
We're doing it. And there's a petition out here. So we've signed that, and we'll be sending it over to WRD, URD, and a bunch of organizations so that we can start moving on this. Oh, by the way, get a hold of Dwight Evans. Get this guy to sign on to a ceasefire with a negotiated settlement and keep the United States from going a little haywire here because things could get to be really difficult. Wars are not winnable, period. And that's what we're looking at. Over and out.
For all your work.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you so much. So much. Thank you for calling as well. Family, you are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD. We are talking with Jude Husein, and we are talking about the genocide taking place in the Middle East. We're inviting you to the conversation as well, as I shared earlier. For those of you who are unaware how to do so, feel free to call us. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. And also, feel free to comment on our socials, and I promise I'll do my best to read your comment aloud. I do want to share, Harry is joining the conversation, Harry Wims. Hi there, Harry. And he shares good evening. He's sharing peace and blessings with everyone. And he writes, cease fire around the world now. Malcolm also joins the conversation by sharing Biden needs to rein in Netanyahu. Oh, family, I am fearful that we are very close to war, to a worldwide war, I should say, because there is already a war taking place. But I'm so fearful that we are really, really close to having a worldwide war. And I just with the devastation that we are experiencing now, and that that we've already experienced, I just don't understand how, as human beings, we can continue with this hatred, we can continue with this evil, we can continue with greed the way that we do. I don't understand it. I just really don't understand it. Jude, you said something earlier. You were talking, and I'm switching gears. You were talking about individuals not being clear about how to vote because they were fearful themselves.
Yeah.
So when you talk about how this war is already impacting the communities here in Philadelphia, that's big.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of it throughout this past election. And so every election cycle, I have community members and different organizations asking me to talk about what's on the ballot, and or a lot of community members will ask me how I'm voting on the ballot. And so this time around, I've seen an uptick in how many people have been asking me, who stands for just human rights and who stands for Palestinian rights, really stemming not only from the Palestinian community and the Arab community at large, but the immigrant community. We have such a strong African immigrant community here in the city of Philadelphia, a huge Yemeni population, just a lot of immigrants here in the city of Philadelphia that are scared that just because they may look some type of way, that their elected leaders will treat them some type of way. And what I mean by that, because I think it's really important to note here. History shows that when you exclude a community, you are allowing them to be targets. And so here in the city of Philadelphia, and across the nation, when elected officials and community leaders alike exclude one type of community, and in this case, by example, unfortunately, it will have to be the Palestinian community, you are saying that they are targets. And Palestinian, and you know, there's this whole religion connotation, right? It's, you know, it's just Muslims, and that's not the case, right? There's Palestinian Jews, there's Palestinian Christians, there's Palestinian Muslims. And so it is not a religion issue. And so what I saw here is that communities, specifically the immigrant community and the Palestinian Arab community, they are worried that there's elected officials that are looking at them as if they already don't matter and that they don't count. And we've seen this, that, you know, certain communities are disregarded, right? You know, some candidates won't even campaign over in those communities because they don't come out, right? They don't come out because they are not seen. And so it is our job to engage our community members. We understand the power of voting. That is our power. That is one of our many powers as citizens. But it's also in our government's power and also in their influence to go out and seek those communities for them to also engage in an education series of why it's important for them to come out and show out. But there's that mistrust because they are mistreated. They are looked over and they are not counted in, and that's not okay. That is definitely not okay. And we still see these in Black and brown communities, right? I won't campaign here because, you know, data shows that they don't come out. And that may very well be the case, but it is our job to also reel them in conversation, because that's what government should do, is engage the public. And that's what they're elected for.
There's truth to that. You know, I think my biggest challenge is with who to vote for. I mean, I share the same concern, but it goes further for me. Like, there's a trust factor for me, a trust issue, I should say, when I'm considering candidates, because, you know, there are a lot of people that will say a lot of things. And when you're going to vote for individuals, you don't really have, well, sometimes you don't really know if they will stand with their word and they will do exactly what they say they're going to do. And this is too big of an issue for them not to make good on.
Yeah, and I think we have to hold ourselves accountable, and we have to also hold our communities accountable, right? We can't always rely on government. And so we need to reel in our community members and our neighbors and show them solidarity and teach them. And if we don't know, we have to seek it. And we have to hold our government accountable, right? Because we elect them in, and we have just as much power to elect them out. And so when they do show those colors that, okay, well, you campaigned on this and you have general morals and values on this, but this is the way you voted, or this is the way you showed up, or lack of, right? We have to hold them accountable as a collective, and community needs to stand strong. And that goes back to holding ourselves accountable, right? We can't rely on maybe someone that has always let us down, right? It's like that best friend or that family member that, okay, I'm going to do this, and never comes out or never shows up or never comes through on their word. It's the same thing. It's like you're in a really a difficult relationship, right? You've stayed the long haul with someone, and you really invested in them, and you really supported them, and you knocked on doors for them, and you loved them, and you did everything you could, and you took them to your safe spaces, and then they turn around and they're like, haha, joke's on you. Like, I'm here now and I don't really need you. And so I'm going to break up with you. And that's not how this works. And so we have the power to go in and cast our ballots. And if we don't know, we need to talk to each other. And we need to have people to come into our communities and invite them in and be welcoming and having a dialogue. I usually say that 9 times out of 10, people don't want to be unreasonable. But there's always that one person or that 1% or that's super unreasonable. 9 times out of 10, when we are a unified front, well, I'll say for this one, 10 times out of 10, when we're a unified front, we see results. But some people, they kind of go off their own way, but we can reel them back in.
I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. Family, listen, we're going to take, I know, right? We have to be.
Yes.
Family, we're going to take a short commercial break, but stay with us because the conversation will continue when we come back. Stay with us.
Dear WURD members, listeners, and supporters, thank you for helping make our 20th anniversary gala a success. We also want to thank all of our performers, panelists, and Day One Award recipients. A special thank you to the WURD host and staff for your tireless efforts to make this a memorable event. Finally, we want to thank all of our sponsors, including Rivers Casino, Temple University, Independence Blue Cross, the African American Museum, Brown's Family ShopRite, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, Independence Media Foundation, the Museum of the American Revolution, Penn Medicine, Resolve Philly, the Chamber of Commerce of Greater Philadelphia, the William Penn Foundation, and Third Floor Media. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Be sure to tune in this Sunday at 2 p.m. for the Physicians on Air show with host Dr. Alexander.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
And now,
in the midst of challenging times, our Black spaces, our voices, and our stories are under attack. Our goal? To reach 2,000 members by the end of the year. We need your support now more than ever. WURD Radio has been your trusted source for Black Talk media for 20 years, and we want to continue making history for another 20. This is urgent, and the time to act is now. Help us move forward and up to reach our goal. Visit WURDradio.com and join the movement. Let's stand together. Let's make a difference. Go to WURDradio.com and become a member today.
what is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD. Oh my goodness, family. So we're talking with Jude Husein, our family member, and we are having the conversation about the genocide taking place in the Middle East. Eric shares, Jude, we hear your passion and we feel your drive. Stay focused and God bless you. Harry asks, where are all the music industry people with a song like Michael Jackson sang "We Are the World" or an anti-war songs? Harry, that's a good question, but I don't know that there's enough unity or solidarity in the entertainment industry right now to even make that happen. It's a different world than it was when We Are the World was created. I'm going to invite Nick to the conversation. Well, Nick, you're always invited to the conversation, but Nick has a comment that he'd like to share. So welcome to the conversation, Nick.
Hey, thank you, Carol. And
You're welcome.
hello, Miss Jude.
Hi, Nick.
I was listening to the conversation and I wasn't sure if I was going to jump in and say anything, but I remembered earlier in the conversation you had likened the treatment of Palestinians to what marginalized Black people and minorities face here in the U.S. And I just wanted to say that for years it's been discussed whether or not Israel itself is an apartheid state like South Africa before it. And I think now more than ever, we're starting to see that the reality is that the way that Palestinians and non-Jews are treated in Israel, all the facts kind of point towards it is an apartheid state, whether or not people want to argue against it. I think the reality is that what we're seeing is that people are being oppressed, and so long as you are non-Jewish in Israel, you are looked at as not only a second-class citizen, but barely a person. And that is a very scary thought in the modern world where we all know better. That's all I had to say about that, though.
Thank you so much for your comment. Nelson Mandela said, "But we know all too well that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians," and so that applies now to this very day. Even Arab Israelis, because there's Arab Israelis due to the settlements and the occupying power. There's Arab Israelis that have an Israeli passport, but they're still treated like second-class citizens. They don't have the same rights as Israelis. And I want to take note that, to your point, right? You're treated different, and we can date this all the way back to the start of this country here in the United States. It's the same kind of brutal treatment. But Amnesty International came out with a report that Israel is an apartheid state. And so I encourage everyone to look at the Amnesty International, which is an international human rights watchdog group, really respectable. The UN uses them across the globe. Amnesty has been around for quite some time, and so they have tremendous reports.
Nick, thank you for that comment. Did you want to add more?
No, that's all.
Thank you, Nick.
No, thank you. Oh my goodness. So Eric is sharing, and he shares to Harry's point about the music industry and a song being created. Ain't that the truth, Harry? Good question. Great suggestion. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know, from where change will come. But Harry, I'm not against that. Let me say, because I don't even want to make it sound as if I'm against that. If that'll help, I'm all for it. I am all for it. I am challenged with feeling like we are really like this is so deeply rooted. This issue is so deeply rooted that we're going to need more. We're going to need more. But I'm ready. I mean, I'm willing to do what I can. I just don't know what that is. But well, no, you know what, Jude, you did say something that was very, very, very important about helping one another. And I think that's a great takeaway from tonight's conversation about helping one another, no matter who you are.
Yeah, and I think we have a role here in the West, right? Like we're taking to the streets, we're demonstrating, right? We're boycotting, we're calling our reps, and I think it's up to our elected officials to do what they need to do in DC to really show up and turn out and really stand with humanity. And I think also here in the West, we have a role to ensure that no matter how you identify, no matter who you love, no matter who you vote for, you are protected, that these intimidation tactics do not work here because we are the land of the free and the home of the brave. And if we really want to be that and just that, that needs to apply for all people. The First Amendment needs to apply for all people. Just like the Klan can march our state schools and intimidate our young people, and they're, protected by the First Amendment, I think Palestinians deserve to say that they're Palestinian and hold their head high because they exist and they're taxpayers and they're lovers and they're musicians and they're poets, they're academics, they're scholars. And so although there's a brutal military occupation happening to the Palestinian people, they still have survived and they still do exist and they live there and they breathe there and they live here and they're globally. And so we have a job here in the West to ensure that all people, regardless of race, religion, how you look, how you feel, you are protected because you have your human rights and you have your dignity and you deserve to live freely.
On that note, Jude, on that note, that was a lot. This is it's a heavy conversation, but it's definitely one that needs to continue. And I'm so glad and thankful, grateful to you that you've agreed to do so. Family, Jude has agreed to come visit with us to continue this conversation so that we are kept in the know and we retain and maintain the education that we are receiving. I'm just grateful for the conversation, quite honestly.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for just being open and willing. And thank you to all of your viewers. You guys are all wonderful.
You hear that, family? You hear that, family? We are love bugs here. We are love bugs right here on Love and Life. And the most wonderful thing that I appreciate about our family members is that we are open, we listen, but we're also ready to do the work. We want, we want to do well. And when they say when you know better, you do better.
Mhm.
And our family members, we dig in. We family, we will dig in. We want to get to the root of it. We want to find out, okay, so just what the problem is and how it can be rectified. And I love that about us. I so love that about us. Once again, thank you to Jude Husein for visiting us in our second hour. Family. Jude, I can't wait
Thank
for
you
your
guys
return.
so much. I love you guys. Thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
you, Carol. And wait, I heard you can sing, and I knew you could sing. And so maybe next time you can sing me a little ballad. But I won't put you on the spot tonight, all right?
You know what? I'm going to get Dina. That was Dina.
I'm done. I'm leaving, guys. Bye.
Bye, Jude. See you next time. Family. Oh my goodness. Jude, I'm going to get her. Oh my word. Yes, we do. We do stand. We do stand together. We do stand together. So Jude, she definitely is going to come back to visit with us. She's already told me she's going to come once a month and have a conversation with us. And I'm so grateful to her for that because she's a busy young woman. She really, really is. So grateful to her for that, and grateful to you. I tell you that every night, but y'all don't know how much I mean it. You hear me? I mean it with every fiber of my being. I so enjoy our conversations. I so enjoy your contributions to the conversations. And I love that we can talk about these things. I love that we can talk about anything in this space. I love that. And I love you for that. Thank you for that. So, family, here we are. Praise God. From whom all blessings flow. As we wrap tonight's episode, I am going to continue thanking you because I love you so much. Thank you so much as you continue to support Love and Life. To our caller, Ken the Communist, thank you for contributing to the conversation. To you, family, for commenting on our socials. Thank you for contributing as well. I appreciate that. And to our guests tonight for sharing their time, their energy, their attention, their spirit, their knowledge, and their love with us. It's so appreciated. Will Downing, I see you. I see you snuck in there. I see you, Will Downing. Yes. To our entire WURD family, my gratitude and love to you, especially and particularly Niall Jax and Nick Steptoe for all that you do. I couldn't do it without you. I could not. Family, remember, we're all in this together. So I want you to be good to you, okay? Be so good to you. But be good to those around you as well. Know that I love you, but know that God loves you so much more. Have a great rest of your night, family, and be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Good night, family.